Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the Sage and Scanco Sage 100 Manufacturing Solutions webinar. Just to let everyone know, we are recording this broadcast, and a link will be sent out to everyone that registered and that is on the call within the next couple of days. Also, a little housekeeping as we go through this. If you have questions, if you will just either raise your hand or enter those into the questions box. We will have plenty of time for questions at the end, but while they're fresh on your mind, please go ahead and type them in, and then we'll run through those towards the end of the presentation as well. Joining us today is Darren Stewart, VP of Sage Manufacturing Sales with Scanco, and we're going to talk about the different options for your manufacturing solutions, the Sage and Joint Scanco solutions, what fits where, what doesn't from operation management or production management. So with that said, Darren, before I misspeak, I will turn it over to you and we'll get started.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. And thank you for allowing me the opportunity to spend some time with everyone today. Just right out of the gate, I want to apologize. I'm not a great PowerPoint creator, so forgive me if my PowerPoint looks a little remedial today. But my goal today is just to try to help everybody begin to understand the differences between some of the manufacturing solutions that are on the Sage price sheet and how to better qualify and what some of the partner requirements are for those solutions. So we're going to kind of take an overview of the products today. We're going to talk about qualifying prospects. That's probably where we're going to spend the majority of our time. We'll do a little overview of some of the features, and then we'll talk about some versions, compatibility, as well as certification and pricing. Like Dan said, if you guys have questions, please type those into the question box. And when we get to the end, I doubt we'll take the whole hour, but when we get to the end of the presentation, happy to answer any questions I can for everyone. So the first thing I want to come out of the gate with is that we are announcing that there is a new product name. We all know that Sage loves to change the product names, but for better positioning, we will, in the 2020 release of Sage 100, the manufacturing module will be renamed to Operations Management. In discussions and in working with partners and users, the manufacturing name itself really didn't represent all the solution could possibly do for a customer. And we believe that this naming is more consistent with the production management name, as well as providing just a broader path, if you will, for the adoption of that product. So the marketing literature and everything is being rebranded with operations management. That's already in the works. But the entire presentation today will refer to the solution as operations management instead of Sage 100 Cloud Manufacturing. Hopefully everybody agrees that's a lot easier to say than Sage 100 Cloud Manufacturing. But I did want to come out of the gate with that announcement and let you guys know that. I know there's probably groans and moans going on in everybody's office right now about another name change, but we do believe it will better position the product for everyone. So I spend the majority of my job working with you guys as partners and working with your end users on helping them get the right, manufacturing solution. There has been some changes in kind of the path forward from when we started this journey a little over a year ago. The long-term plan is that these products will still merge into a single product. But as of today, that's not the case. And we want to kind of take this from the perspective of where we are today and what you can work with your end users and how that all comes together. So there really are two lanes. You've got your production management lane and you have now your operations management lane. And right now, think of it as going down the highway. There's a divider between those two lanes and they are two separate products. Now you will be able to cross over, but when you move from production management to operations management, they are different products. One thing that we'll talk about later on is some data conversion stuff that we have that we're bringing to the table that may assist with some of this. But let's talk about what's in each lane. So production management, as everybody knows, is the replacement for work order. So the work order functionality that you are used to, and that is the Sage work order functionality, not those that had manufacturing efficiency or work order efficiency from ACS, that changed the way that all works. So everything in my presentation today is really talking about off-the-shelf work order and off-the-shelf production management. It is make to stock. You're going to build the item and you're going to return it to inventory. Whether you ship it that day or 3 weeks from now on a sales order is really of no impact on production management, but it is all make to stock. The MRP module, as you know, has been replaced by inventory requirements planning. And then we've added mobility for manufacturing and shop floor user for that data collection out on the shop floor. So it allows them to collect the transactions out there without having to do any data entry into actual Sage 100. Obviously, the items that are in green are on the Sage price sheet. The items that are in red are on the Scanco price sheet. And we also have Manufacturing 100, which is a step up from shop floor user, as well as our multi-bin standard and premium that will be coming out in the next couple of months to be compatible with production management. Then you have the lane of operations management, and operations management also does make to stock. So there's been some confusion over that, but operations management does include the ability to do make to stock. You can also, however, do all of those other items that you see there in the green bullets, from make to order. And we're going to talk more about what make to order means as we go through this, because there is some confusion and there are some definitions that end users use that don't match what our definition is. And so I want to kind of clarify some of that today. But basically, make to order is we're going to build it to the sales order line and quantity. Bench repair, warranty repair, that is something that operations management does out of the box and can be used for customers that need to do any of those type of repair. Installation of professional services. This is one of the areas that's causing the rename. And you know, manufacturing is a very defined term, if you will, but operations management will actually work for a company that just does installation or professional services. When I was a reseller, we actually used, at that time it was Job Ops, in our company to track all of our projects and billable time, collect that time, and then invoice the customer for it. If you've got, and we'll talk more about the target markets, if you will, in a minute, but that is an area that we believe has been overlooked by what operations management or Sage 100C manufacturing can do. It includes component exception manager, which is similar to IRP. We may address a little bit of that here in a little bit. I don't have a slide on it, but I can talk to kind of the whole IRP, SEM, MRP, purchase agent side of things. And then, of course, we've released mobility for manufacturing, which is required for Manufacturing 100. And then we have the add-on modules of enhanced scheduling, which is capacity planning, as well as the product configurator. Again, then from Scanco, we've got the field service add-on, Manufacturing 100 add-on, Tech Dash, as well as multi-bin premium available for that. So these are kind of the two lanes we're going to operate in, and we're going to kind of talk about how do we put people in the right lane or the right bucket. So again, I just wanted to kind of reiterate some things on what is available, because I know there's been some confusion around what each product does, and there are multiple parties and vendors involved. So we're going to kind of go through some of that here just in a graphical view and take a look at that. So as we've talked about before, what's on the Sage price sheet is production management, which is make to stock, inventory requirements planning, which replaces MRP, and the newly issued shop floor user with mobility for manufacturing. One note on the shop floor user mobility for manufacturing, the end user does have to be on 100C for that option to work. There's some product compatibility stuff later that we'll talk about where we'll go over that, but that is one difference. Production management and inventory requirements planning, though, are still available for perpetual end users if they've not moved over to the C price sheet. And then from Scanco, we of course have Manufacturing 100 and multi-bin. Those are add-on components. The multi-bin compatibility release is coming out probably in March. So that will be available to be able to do that within production management as well. Out of the box, if your end user has the DSD 6 decimal precision enhancement for Sage 100, production management will work with that out of the box. We built that in, I believe it was in product update 2. So they will have to be on product update 2 for version 2019, but that is available out of the box today. You don't have to buy anything from us. It works and just is there if they have that particular modification. So then we look over at operations management, which has been known as Sage 100 Cloud Manufacturing or JobOps. And on the Sage price sheet is our base module. Now that's sold by user, but it includes all of the ability to do make to order, make to stock, MRP, which is the SIM, the time tracker, the data collector. And if they have a minimum of 5 users on their initial order, they can send one person to our operations management training course at no charge. Add-on modules available in the Sage price sheet are the enhanced scheduling, which is our shop floor scheduling tool, as well as product configurator. And then available through Scanco, we have all of the things we've talked about already: manufacturing 100, field service and dispatch, tech dash, our multi-bin, which is also using, there's also options for in-transit pallets on the water. And then we have a third-party integration for JobPack, which is an advanced scheduling tool in the event enhanced scheduling does not fit the customer's needs. We are also compatible out of the box with the Mapadoc. I know it's no longer probably SWK Mapadoc. I didn't update my slide, but we are compatible with that at version 2018 product update 2. Again, there's nothing you have to buy. If you have both those solutions, they will just automatically coexist. The other options we have available from other partners is QBuild is a engineering tool that allows you to pull data out of a CAD system, put it into a flat file, and then we can push that data into Sage 100 into operations management. And the other thing is we've had a lot of customers that are doing both rental and manufacturing, and we do now coexist with BCS's automated rental product. Again, product update 2 for version 2018 or higher is what you need to be on for that to coexist. So again, there's just been a lot of confusion around what we do work with, what we don't work with. And I think sometimes it's good just to kind of go through these graphics to help everybody understand. This is just kind of a slide talking about the journey of the name, if you will. You know, work order has transitioned into production management. That's available at version 2019. I do want to reiterate, work order is still available at version 2019. It'll be available in 2020 as well as in 2021. So we've got 3 more versions, but version 2019 is the first version that a customer could transition into production management from work order. Obviously, the journey on the second line is JobOps, and when it went on the Sage price sheet, it was Sage 100C manufacturing. It was still that in version 2019, but in version 2020, it will be renamed to operations management. And then the field service piece, which isn't available on the Sage price sheet, but is available from Scanco, is still available, and that will continue to be part of that suite of products. So let's talk about qualifying a prospect. This is where I spend the majority of my job, and many of you I've worked with and many of your end users. And it's interesting because everybody's been super excited about production management, and we are grateful for that. And we've had a lot of influx of new leads, new opportunities, and they typically are starting at the production management level. But what I'm finding is that 9 out of 10 of those production management leads that come in are really customers that need to be on operations management. And we're going to talk today about why that is and when to qualify someone in that specific category or not. The other thing we're finding is that a large percentage of the work order end users that are out there, because work order was kind of the only option we had, the only game in town for so long, a lot of people have kind of squeezed it in a square peg into a round hole and made it work for them. But we're finding that a lot of the work order customers maybe do need to transition over to operations management. And then what we're finding on the flip side is there's a lot of customers that didn't have work order, they didn't have JobOps operations management, they're just on bill of materials. Those are a great target to begin to move into production management. So there's kind of this migration that we're seeing from the various products and getting people into the right solutions. I will admit I forgot to include this into our slide, but I do want to let everyone know that we are also working on data conversion tools. Just like we have a work order to production management data conversion tool, we're getting ready to release a work order to operations management conversion tool, as well as a production management to operation management data conversion tool. So we're hoping that that makes that migration a lot more seamless, easier on the partner, easier on the end user, and gets them up and operational a lot faster. So again, we go back to the 2 lanes, right? And what this slide's really designed to do is to talk about the functions that each one of these solutions performs, and what functions a business might perform that would categorize them into one product or the other. Again, production management, we are make to stock only. Everything we do is going to return something to inventory as a finished good. There's very little customization that we find in these particular target customers. They don't go in and modify the material. They don't modify the steps very often. It's pretty much I'm building the same thing over and over and over, and I'm not really customizing it beyond the actual bill of materials and or template that I have set up. If they need to explode subassemblies into the parent item's work ticket, that is something that production management does very well, and they have that as an option. So those are some of the things that begin to qualify people into the production management product line. For operations management, again, it's when they want to manufacture to the sales order line. I want to be able to tie a work ticket directly to the line in the sales order. They may be customizing that product to the customer's needs. So the customer may be saying, yeah, I know you put this widget on it and that widget on it, but I don't want those, I want them different. I use, for many of you, you probably heard me use the example over and over and probably very tired of it, but this is a great, kind of like going to the car dealership and then building out your car, right? You're choosing various option packages that you want inside that car, and we're going to customize it to that sale for what the customer needs. Again, I think this is highly overlooked. Companies that do installation or professional services, those are a great target market for operations management. It's a method for them to collect the billable time and or just the labor and then bill a customer for that, whether that's a fixed fee project or a time and material project. But that is a highly overlooked area where operations management will really work. When they want to manage the shop floor capacity by machine or worker, that's really referring to our enhanced scheduling tool, where they need to be able to say, what's my capacity? When can I get this done? What's my capable to promise date? What do I have scheduled for today? That is another fit for operations management. That is actually one area where I see a lot of make to stock people that would qualify for production management, but then they talk about, I need to be able to schedule and know what my capacity is, when I can deliver stuff. That moves them into the operations management lane. For people who do a lot of warranty or service work, operations management out of the box allows you to track the manufactured items, serial number, warranty date, service work, etc. So that's another reason. Obviously, we can track that in production management through invoice history and the lot serial history inquiry function, but we expand all of that and give you the ability not only to track that, but we give you a parts and a labor warranty date. We give you the ability to cover it under a service agreement. We keep track of every invoice off of that item. There's just a lot of additional functionality there. And that kind of dovetails into perform that repair work, whether that's in-house or in the field. Operations management allows the in-house repair out of the box. So it's kind of another thing along with make to stock, make to order. You can do repair work right out of the gate with that if it's in-house. If you're doing field repair work, that's really our field service solution that allows them to dispatch field techs, and then we have mobile solutions that go along with that. Along with that repair field service type stuff is if you sell service agreements or you're doing preventative maintenance on any of those items. That again falls in that operations management. And then the more advanced customization, that's really referring to our product configurator module. And that module is, think of it as bill of materials options, but on steroids. So where bill of materials gives you 9 option categories, we give you 999. Our 999 options can then have as many selections under that as you want, and all of those can be dependent upon each other. So where you have option interactions in bill of materials, we can actually change the options they see in future questions based off of previous selections. So it's a very sophisticated tool that gives them the ability to just answer a questionnaire to build out a product. So let's define make to order, because this is an area that is, I think, becoming very confusing. And there's a couple of definitions for it. And both of our products do a quote unquote make to order function. And that's why I'm kind of going over this. So this scenario is within the production management realm. Now, this does also work in operations management. But the idea here is, and I hear customers all the time say, well, I only make the quantity that I have orders for. And they call that make to order, because I'm not building anything to stock, but I'm making an item based off of what my demand is from the sales order. So my scenario here is I've got 3 sales orders. Item A happens to be on 2, first order and the second order. Item B happens to be on the first order and the third order. So with production management, inventory requirements planning would analyze that data, and it would come back and it would say, all right, well, we need to build a work ticket to make item A for a total quantity of 9, because we have 2 sales orders, one that has a quantity of 3 and one that has a quantity of 6 on it, that need that item. End users or customers sometimes believe that this is what they call make to order. So while we don't, this isn't technically the definition Sage and or Scanco uses for make to order, this is the definition that a lot of customers use. And production management will do this. So that's why I'm going over this, is I don't want people to think they have to move to operations management to do quote unquote make to order. But I'll define on the next one what the difference is. But both operations management and production management, with the use of IRP and or component exception manager in operations management, will do this. So when I'm talking to a customer, I dig into, well, tell me what make to order means to you. How do you come up with that? How do you manage that? What are your calculations to get there, if you will? And then I kind of begin to understand what's going on. From the operations management side, what we really meant in make to order, and this is our definition, but this is not always what the customer's definition is that every line on the sales order will have its own work ticket. Now, what we're going to do there is, again, I just took the first 2 sales orders from the previous slide, is in that case, we're going to end up with 4 different work tickets here. And you'll notice item A is being made on 2 separate work tickets, but we're tying them back to the sales order and we're tying them to the line on the sales order. So this was our original definition of make to order, but it has ended up becoming confusing to a lot of end users, partners, and people trying to qualify, well, what does that really mean? So this is what it really means from a graphical sense. The other thing I want to point out is that in this scenario, there is no make to stock completion. The completion is when you ship the sales order. The other thing that is different here is that we are going to cost that sales order line at the actual manufacturing cost accumulated in the work ticket, regardless of what the valuation method is for the inventory item. Now, I don't spend a tremendous amount of time going over that with a prospect or an end user unless they start asking questions about it, but that is one difference. So you could, in that theory, with, item is costed at actual cost, on sales order 1000, where we make item A, that could have a completely different unit cost than sales order 1001 and the second line there, where we're making a quantity of 6. Because we're going to use the actual cost that was accumulated in those individual work tickets to cost that line on the sales order. So I really just wanted to go through that because that has been a point of contention and misunderstanding. So let's talk further about a customer that needs production management. They need that when, and this is where my slides I don't think are very pretty, I tried to just highlight in red the keywords. They only make to stock. That's all they're doing. They're building stuff and putting it back in inventory to sell it later. They have very little customization. They do explode subassemblies, or they might not explode subassemblies. We can go either way on production management with that. And they need to determine what needs to be made based on their sales order and or reorder points. That's inventory requirements planning that does turn around and work with production management. So again, if they were a work order customer, they didn't have work order efficiency. Many of you probably know what that is from, that was originally from ACS. Scanco now owns that. It kind of made work order be some make to order stuff and some different things, but I'm not talking about those features. I'm talking about only the off the shelf work order features, very similar to what work order would do. Oh, sorry, I got my slides out of order. I thought that was out of order. So again, back on make to order, both production management and operations management will make them to the sales order quantity, but then operations management will link the work ticket directly to the sales order line. You can customize that work ticket and then cost the produced item to that total cost, regardless of the inventory valuation method. So sorry about that. I didn't realize I had those out of order. Again, back to what a customer needs when they need production management. This is kind of the list that says, oh, if you need this, then production management doesn't work for you. So again, if they want to manufacture the specific sales order line, I actually had a customer too. I just, kind of scenarios here that I go through. I actually had a customer that really didn't customize the product at all. They were always exactly what the bill said, exactly what the routing or the template said, but they only built it when the sales order came in, and they did only build the quantity on the sales order. And what they wanted was the ability to create the work ticket while they were creating the sales order. Well, that again is operations management. With production management, you have to go create the work ticket separate, just like you did with work order, from the sales order. So just be aware that's kind of the difference in how we link those together. Again, if they need scheduling, they need advanced configuration, they need to track the equipment or item produced after the fact. They do repair work, they've got field tech, service agreements, preventative maintenance. Any of those keywords you see in red there, if you hear those things, they're probably not a fit for production management. So again, here's some keywords. I think sometimes it's, we sit and go through these webinars and we get all this good information and everything. This is probably the one slide, if you remember, these are the things that you need to listen for. If the customer says they are custom manufacturing, we're engineered to order, we're a job shop, we do repair, we do warranty repair, we do installation, we have professional services, we do field service or repair. If you hear any of those keywords, that's an indication that they probably need operations management. And of course, then our make to order and make to stock words that we typically throw out there. But those are kind of key words that we should use. And those are the ones that when I hear those things, I instantly start thinking, okay, this is probably an operations management prospect. So again, kind of the reverse of what we've talked about, a customer needs operations management when they want to do scheduling. They're trying to manage their shop floor capacity. And they have, whether that's specific number of machines, employee capacity, whatever it is, that's what enhanced scheduling does. Tracking that item or equipment after the fact so they can track the warranty or service work on it is something that operations management does out of the box. You don't need any add-ons. It's just part of the base product. It just does that. Again, repair work, whether that's done in-house or in the field, in-house, out of the box on operations management. Field repair is the field service module. If they do any service agreements or preventative maintenance that you hear those terms, that is our field service solution, and that's going to put them in the operations management world. Again, they've got advanced bill of materials. One area too, when you get into product configurator that I hear a lot of is the customer says, I don't want to go set up a million different items for a million different ways we could configure this. I need this just as one item, and then I'll tell the system how to configure it. That's the perfect fit for product configurator. We got one item, but we're going to tell you how we want that item configured. And product configurator will determine the price based off of the options that are selected if you want to do it. And then again, if they're a professional services firm, engineering, they do architecture, they even a law firm, I mean, could use all of that. So those are just different ideas and again, keywords to think about whenever they're going to need production management. Excuse me, operations management. So I know many of you have not been real happy with my schedule and my availability. And for that, I do apologize. But I am only one person, and unfortunately, there's so many hours in the day. And I know that many of you have not been happy about not being able to get on my schedule in a timely manner for demos. So we are addressing that. And we have a brand new qualification and video demo tool that will be released here in the next probably 30 to 45 days. It is going to be a web-based questionnaire. So you'll just be able to go to a website. You'll enter the customer information, and we're gonna take you through it. Don't, you know, I'm just kind of giving you heads up warning on this. But you'll be able to sit down with the customer, with the prospect, go through the questions. It'll lead you to the product that that customer needs. And then it's going to provide you links to pre-recorded videos to demonstrate those features and functions they've identified that they need. The videos have all been recorded. We've got the questionnaire pretty much done. It's in our final testing. We're trying to get it ready to do the final rollout. So Scanco will be providing a partner webinar on how to access that, how to use it. And again, then what that's going to do is allow me to be involved only when there's more advanced questions, we need a deeper dive, and to really begin to work more with you guys as partners on qualifying those leads, helping get those deals closed, and try to be more proactive instead of me just sitting here doing demos 8 hours a day and getting absolutely bored telling myself the same thing over and over again. So watch your email for more information on that. But we did hear your complaints. We do know that it was a problem. We want to enable you to not have to fully know the product inside and out, not have to have it installed, but yet be able to go out and still do these demos and get the prospect and or the existing customer the right product. So hopefully this will be a good tool that everybody will embrace. It will also be available for the Sage PAMs to be able to use with the prospect, help you with that. We're going to take everybody through training on it. All right, so I'm not going to spend a great deal of time going over each of the products individually, but I just did want to kind of highlight again a couple of things. Production management was released in May of last year. It's available for version 2019 only. Obviously, it's make to stock. And then there's all of those new capabilities. All the literature, Timothy and I have worked, and our marketing guy, Jay, we've all worked on trying to make sure that we're getting all of the right literature posted out to all of Sage's new partner portal and all that kind of stuff. We've gone through a lot of those documents. Some are still in process. But you know, the selling points of production management over work order are those major new capabilities there in the lower left-hand corner. I'm not going to go through all of them individually. We can talk about those when we need to, but in our analysis, there were over 75 new features in production management over work order. Yes, there's a couple of things that work order did that we don't, but we know exactly specifically what those are, and we found that it was very rare that a customer was using them. So if you're looking for and you think that there's features that are missing, that's really where you need to get me involved so that we can go over and discuss what you think's missing, and we can try to get you the right answers on those. Again, there is a migration wizard that will convert your work order data to production management. No, it does not convert historical data. There was a decision made between Sage and Scanco to not convert that data for a very specific reason. And the reason was that work order data files were not normalized. And in the historical work order files, there were approximately 30 different record types. And it was not uncommon that that data was corrupt. Because we offer customers the ability to create brand new work tickets off of historical work orders, work tickets, we didn't want to convert that, have it be missing data, have them create a brand new work ticket off of that old data and it be wrong. We wanted them to have a good experience on production management. So that was the reason. Will it be added in the future? Possibly. It's still under discussion, but it was an agreed upon decision to go to market without it to begin with. I do also want to make clear, production management is available for your perpetual end users. They don't get the dynamic labor, they don't get the dynamic material functionality, but it is available for them even if they want to add it. I did get an order the other day that somebody added inventory requirements planning to their perpetual license. Perfectly doable. So don't pull back from adding this to a customer on perpetual because it is available and it is something that you can do. Like Sage 100C versus Sage 100, there's just a different feature set or additional features available for 100C. All right, inventory requirements planning. I do want to point out, IRP works with or without production management. So even your distribution customers can use inventory requirements planning. Obviously, you can't create work tickets because that's the production management side, but you can certainly create purchase orders to buy the material you need based off of the demand that's on the sales orders. Many of you have asked about the bomb explosion, the blow through on the bombs. That is not in the initial release, but that is on our roadmap, and we are working to get that added as soon as we can following the 2020 release. So that is available, that is coming. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. But it does work without production management. I'm not going to go through all of the details there, but of course the big selling point here is do your data entry in the dashboard, click the create PO button, and you're done. You don't have to sit down and go create POs separately. And again, on the finished goods side, it obviously works with production management. We'll create the work tickets. All right, let's talk a little bit about shop floor user because I know there's some confusion around this as well. Shop floor user is a Scanco application. It is sold on the Sage price sheet, but it is an Apple, Android, or Windows, not Windows Mobile, full-blown Windows application that you can collect data for the actual work ticket in production management and have it flow through to production management without any data entry. It does also require the mobility for manufacturing module, which is separately sold on the price sheet. That solution does parts usage, labor, make to stock, status changes. But I want to be very clear, shop floor user does exactly what the work ticket calls for. It does not allow the person on the shop floor to alter what the work ticket calls for. So if you get into a situation where you've got a customer that says, well, we're calling for this, but I have 5 alternate items that they could use instead, that will not work with shop floor user. Shop floor user is designed to collect exactly what the work ticket calls for. Manufacturing 100, which is not sold on the Sage price sheet, but from Scanco, provides that more advanced functionality. Hey, it calls for 100 feet of this material. I'm going to pull the whole roll, issue that to the work ticket, and then I'm going to unissue what I didn't use. That's manufacturing 100 functionality. So just wanted to be clear about some of that. But the shop floor user is something that's available that does equip the shop floor with the ability to do the transactions in a mobile device instead of doing them as data entry 2 days later. So again, it's the JO scan and work order scan replacement. It works with both operations management and production management. It is sold by device. So when you guys are trying to price this out, it is not priced by user, it is priced by device. So if they say I want 5, let's say, TC20, which is one of the Android devices we sell, I want 5 TC20s out there for them to be mobile and move around. That is only 5 licenses that they need. We don't care how many people use that device. It's always licensed by the device itself. And just kind of an overview of what it does. If you think about a work ticket in the upper left-hand corner where you've got your quantity used, this is my quantity that I'm requiring, this is what I'm going to issue. From the mobile device, they can do that material issue transaction. It comes back through the mobility for manufacturing module and then updates the work ticket automatically. So you can see up in the upper right-hand corner, the quantity used has been updated to 2. That gets done automatically and no data entry is required. All right, just a little bit of overview on operations management, and then we're going to try to wrap up here so we've got time for questions. On the Sage price sheet, in the base product, everything you see on this slide comes with every user license. They can do all of this functionality within that user price. So the base module, so make to stock, make to order, your bench repair, project management, the component exception manager, equipment asset, and the dynamic inventory. All of that comes in the module, as well as the time tracker, the data collector, and the Avatax integration. So when you even place an order for one user, you get all of this functionality on your system. The add-ons are enhanced scheduling and product configurator. We've talked about these. I'm not going to go through all the bullet points on these, but these are the add-on modules that they just pay a flat price for, regardless of how many users, and they get that added functionality into their operations management system. And then field service is not on the Sage price sheet. That is sold from Scanco through the partner channel to the end user, as well as our Tech Dash, which is our mobile tablet device for the technicians out in the field to capture their time parts. They can even capture a signature, take pictures, do all that kind of stuff with the service ticket and update the service ticket back in Sage 100. Again, these are our integration points that we have with other products. We do work with and integrate with Mapadoc. We obviously have our multi-bin. The job pack is the advanced scheduling tool. Automated rental, we coexist with that. And then the QBuild CAD integration. So those are pieces that, again, if you have those products, they're built to automatically integrate with Sage 100 operations management. So let's talk a minute about versions and compatibility, because I get these questions all the time, and I just want to make everybody clear on where we are with all of this. This is not really a roadmap, but this is kind of where we are with everything. So obviously, Sage 100 Cloud Manufacturing, Job Ops, Operations Management, whatever term you want to use for that, that's available at 2017, 2018, and 2019, starting at PU2. So that's available for all of those. We have all of the functionality available. Manufacturing 100 came into play at version 2018, as did Tech Dash. I didn't put Tech Dash on here for some reason. And then the JOScan, the work order scan, those products are being deprecated as we move into the 2018 version of operations management or into production management for version 2019. IRP was released for production management at PU1. Our multi-bin integration should be available next month. All of that other stuff to be determined. Those are all of the operations management pieces, if you will. And then again, work order scan was replaced by manufacturing 100. And then again, the shop floor user was available and released at PU2. Shop floor user is not available for operations management. Shop floor user is only for production management. However, the mobility for manufacturing module is required for either production management or operations management if you have manufacturing 100. So that module is mislabeled on the Sage price sheet. It looks like it's only a production management module. That's not correct. It is a module for both of those solutions. So let's talk about certification and pricing. So in production management, the partner requirements are a partner has to have at least one consultant on staff that's taken the production management course to sell the product, receive margin, and receive full tier credit. The certification is just, again, one consultant has to attend our course for production management. Non-certified partners, you can still work with a partner that is certified and then let the authorized partner perform that implementation. We did just this week release our 2020 training calendar. There's a web page for it. I don't remember what the web page URL is. I could get that out to everybody if needed, but we did announce all of our training for 2020. We're trying to have production management classes every other month. So that means 6 times this year, we hope to have a production management class. The class is open to both end users and partners. It's just if you're a partner, you're gonna then receive that certification. We are going to be adding a certification test to that class as well. So that will become one of the new requirements as soon as we can get the test written. But partners that have not gone through the certification process, If I get a key request from one of your end users, I do send it back to them and I do let them know that you are not certified on the product, that they will have to contact Sage directly for assistance because the partner's not authorized to contact Sage. So I just want to make you aware of that. So again, here is for new customers how we would price out these products. On perpetual, again, they can add production management and they can add inventory requirements planning. Those are $4,400 per module plus maintenance. On perpetual, there is no user count. We're going to match whatever your Sage 100 user count is, but you don't receive the dynamic functionality. On subscription, it's a minimum of 3 users. Now, if the end user only has a 1 or 2 user system, we're going to, obviously, that's all we can do. But if there are 3 users or more on their Sage 100 user count, it's a minimum of 3 users. The rest of the pricing you can see there. And then again, the pricing is tiered, and we do, if they have 10 users, they're still going to pay for 5 users at $378 and then 5 users at $270. So it's not like the Sage 100 user pricing where they just pay the total of whatever bucket they fall into for everybody. We do charge for the first 5, always pays $378. The next 5 always pays $270, and on down the line. So graduated pricing. Again, just on the feature side, dynamic material and inventory and labor is only included with subscription. So they have to be on that, which means they have to be on that to do shop floor user. Shop floor user requires the dynamic and inventory and labor to be able to work. So you've got to have that to be able to do that. And then on, again, licensing, it's the same thing we talked about previously. Production management, if they had work order, this is how they transition. They just pay the higher maintenance on the new module in perpetual subscription. They get converted over to 3 users. For IRP, again, the higher maintenance, and they pay for IRP on subscription. That happens automatically at their renewal. There is confusion that the first 3 users are free. That is not true. The first 3 users are simply replacing and equate to what their work order subscription was. So if they need additional users, they just have to add those to the plan. But out of the gate, they have 3 based off of that payment with the work order plan. On operations management, our certification partner requirements are that you have to be certified to sell the product to receive the margin and receive the full tier credit. Again, certification requirements. 1 person has to attend our Sage 100 Cloud Operations base class and pass the exam with a score of 75%. As a company, then, the company has to also then pay an annual fee, either at a solution provider level or an authorized reseller. So those 2 requirements have to be met to be certified. And then non-certified partners, you can still sell the product. You'll get half the tier credit, but you have to then partner with someone that is authorized to be able to do the implementation. And then, of course, this is the pricing, again, on Sage 100C Operations Management. Not really going to go over all this. This is on the Sage price sheet. Tiered pricing, same thing. There is no minimum user count. However, if the end user wants to send somebody to training for free, it's a minimum 5 users, and that is valid for 1 year from the initial subscription date. If they don't take it in the first year, we don't honor that, and they lose that training course. So just want to make that clear as well. All right. I know I blew through that. There was a lot of information there. We got about 10 minutes left. Dan, I'll let you let me know if we have any questions and anything I need to respond to.
Yes, we've got a few questions. The number one is, are we going to be able to get these slides out to the group?
Yeah.
Sure, we will get that to you. Darren, if you'll send it to me, I'll orchestrate getting it out to everyone that was registered. And keep in mind that everyone that was registered and or attended will also receive a link to the recording, so you could, review this again prior to, presenting it to a customer if you wish. So the original, going back to, the more important questions, if you will, a few more starting to come in here. Can you do options with production management?
Absolutely. So bill of material options are compatible with production management. Those options can also have their own routing or template, and that can be merged into the production management work ticket. But yes, we are compatible with options, option categories, and option interactions.
Okay. what is the status less expectation for work order history conversion?
I don't have an ETA on that. It's on the table. It is not on the development schedule. So I don't have any idea when that will happen. What we've actually heard from a lot of partners is they're not using our data conversion tool. They're using VI to convert the data, which is certainly a doable option. But I don't think it's a high priority unless you guys tell us that it's a high priority. I know it's an issue for people who want to go to premium with the product because their history remains on the ProvideX install. But I know in the discussions between the Sage dev team and our dev team, it wasn't something that they were pushing that needed to be done. So we'll rely on you guys to give us feedback on that.
Okay. Are there specific collateral pieces or webcasts being created to target BM to PM candidates or work order to operations management candidates?
I'm going to defer back to you guys on that, Dan. I don't know what Sage has on the radar for webinars or campaigns. I do know, well, I think I'll let you speak to it, Dan.
Yeah, Jeff, let me get with Timothy Hartfield, our product manager, on this and get back to you, and we'll get back to the team as well. And see, we will, okay, Timothy just IM'd me. It is something we're working on. So again, I'll get back with Timothy and we'll get the group an ETA of when we may be able to have those collateral pieces to you. See, another slideshow, we answered that one. What happens with partial completions when doing actual cost where most components have been issued to the work ticket?
Same thing that happened in work order. We don't, that the same process that was used in work order. I assume you're talking about production management in that question. But yeah, if you use actual cost, it handles it just like work order did. So it's whatever the cost is in the work ticket at the time the partial completion is done. There is a new option that we added, which is standard cost. So you can choose standard cost, and even if the finished good item is not valued at standard cost, but there's a standard cost in the item, we will complete those to inventory at the standard cost, relieve that from WIP regardless of what's actually in WIP.
Okay, so a question on the videos. Will the videos be online for us to use and not need Scanco to access them? Denise, if you were speaking of the online questionnaire thing that Dan, kind of a qualification tool that Darren was talking about, absolutely, it's designed specifically for the partners to use and only bring Scanco in when they get, if going through that process doesn't answer all the questions that your customer has and get us to a point where we know the best operations manager, the best solution for the client, whether it be operations manager or production management. All right. Get us a copy of the slide deck. Yes. If I took the training class in Florida, but there wasn't a test, do I need to take the course again and take the test dealing with certification?
Email me on that one. So my email's on the screen. Whoever asked that, just email me and I'll take a look at it and see. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head.
Okay. And there was one question, gentleman that asked it has left, but others may want to hear it as well. Please explain shop floor data collection options for operations management.
The shop floor data collection option for operations management is manufacturing 100. The shop floor user on the Sage price sheet is not compatible with operations management. Only manufacturing 100 that's sold from Scanco is compatible with operations management for that shop floor data collection.
Okay, that is all of the questions. I have unmuted everyone on my side. You can unmute yourself on your side if you have questions that you haven't typed in. Darren, thank you so much. I think it was very informative. Please send me the PowerPoint deck,
Okay.
and we will get that to our product marketing folks and get it out to all who registered. Folks, if you have any additional questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to your Pam, who will then reach out to me or reach out to me directly. The one thing, Darren talked about is the work order history conversion that Eric had asked a question about. If that is something that is extremely important and valuable, please let us know so we can prioritize accordingly. With that said, we'll give you back about 3 minutes of your day. Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you on our next partner webinar next Friday. Thanks and have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.